We have David Warner here with us for the first time in like 3 months.
10 months.
And then we also have
It's been
5 years.
We've had Brian Reis is on the phone, the food critic. He can't be here in person because we couldn't blur his face out.
Right. And
That's right.
He can't go out in public. Hey, Brian, how you doing? Dave's
I'm
here.
fantastic,
Brian.
guys.
Have you met David before?
I've never seen him. He wears a bag all the
He's
time.
got the constant blur over his face.
Yes, that's it.
How do you walk around with that?
Brian, this cover story is all about you, and you, how fun was it to assemble
all about
the
you,
cover
Brian. Did you know
story
that?
and focusing on restaurant rows and trying them out? I mean, what better job could you ask for?
It's true. It is the best job in existence. But it's not about me. It's
And the best
about
boss
the
in
Bay Area.
existence, I believe.
It's about the great restaurants we have, and better yet, the great concentrations of restaurants we have in a bunch of places around town.
You know, I find it hard to believe, and David, you can chime in anytime you want, but St. Pete's catching up with Central Avenue down there through the middle. They're really kicking up.
Darn
But
sure, yeah.
Howard Avenue, Soho, really impressive. I love how you gauged everything with like a little map, and then you hit the restaurants and you went through in line.
Soho's pretty amazing, isn't it? When you look
it's
at them
ridiculous.
all lined up like
and
that.
we're right in the middle of it. That's why we
Right.
never have a problem eating. That's why I'm 20 pounds overweight.
How,
Brian, talk to me.
That must
baby.
be my excuse, too.
Brian, how long did it take for you to get this article? Because there was a lot of restaurants that you featured, and give us some of your experiences and the walking tours that you took.
Well, obviously I knew a lot of these restaurants to begin with, and a lot of these areas to begin with pretty well because, it's where I like to go eat, and it's where where I do my job. But, as David has said before, the great thing about these places is that normally we drive places everywhere. We drive everywhere, get in our car to go to a destination. But we don't always know what we want when we get in our car. So these are great places to go where you can park the car, get out, and find some random place that you didn't even know existed before.
I think that's great that you've done that. And after these restaurants see their names featured in Creative Loafing, do they call you guys and say, "Oh my gosh, La Taqueria's in there"? You know what I
Do
mean?
we get any thanks? Is
Do
that
you
what you're
get
saying?
free burritos?
No.
It's a thankless job, Dave
No,
Warner.
we can't take free burritos. That would be journalistically
There
incorrect.
you go.
Can we?
I'm sorry. Let me say what let me change what I said earlier.
Okay.
That would make it the best job in the world.
Well, I got to tell you, though, when we were doing the PCCA Tournament of Slices, we were there, and they wanted to give the P, and we're like, no. And David's over there suckling out the cash to make it happen.
right.
Tell us a little bit about the when do we see the food issue? Does that come out once a year, twice a year? What do we got, Dave?
Once a year, and we usually try to do a centered around a theme. Last year it was Eat My Florida, which was locally produced food, locally grown and produced food, which then became the name of Brian's blog, eatmyflorida.com, which is where you can get
Let me
lots of
repeat
great
that, David.
news.
Let me repeat that.
Yes.
Eatmyflorida.com.
EATMYFLORIDA.com.
IDA.com.
Get your food news there. We had some good stuff on there today, I think. Didn't you say you posted some new stuff?
I'll just say two things: breast milk cheese,
Oh, yes.
Okay.
and alley oops about the new diet drug.
Well,
Check
that
it out.
sounds like a diet drug because you look at it and you're like, I'm not eating that.
Brian,
Brian. How you doing? How's Bradenton treating you?
I'm sorry.
How's Bradenton? Oh, I'm sorry. You don't live anywhere. That's right.
Hey, Brian, I have a question for you. It's not very often that we have food critics on the with us, but how is it for you to go sit into a restaurant and order meals? I mean, people, and you order so many different plates. Do people get leery, weary? What do they think?
No, nobody ever knows because most people aren't looking for a reviewer. But we try and be a little bit more circumspect than that. I usually go with a lot of people, so when we order a lot of food, it's we're just hungry people, and I'm a big guy, so. When I order the food, I think people look at me and say, "Yeah, this guy could eat all that."
I have gone on reviewing dinners with Brian, and I have to say there have been a few times when we've ordered so much food that I think the wait staff is looking at us kind of like slack-jawed, like
They're going to eat all this?
People possibly want to eat.
We're taking home in a doggy bag.
Switching up real quick, today is Flag Day.
It is.
Is there any C&Ds related to Flag Day coming up this weekend?
I don't remember, actually.
Our office.
We have the flags.
I don't know.
Well, what do you got going on this weekend?
Don't go there.
C&Ds?
I'm going to take my crib sheet here and open it up to remind myself. So many good things. Oh, this is great. I mean, oh dear, I almost made that segue we were trying to avoid a minute ago. Laughing out loud, there's a couple of great films that are beginning to sort of anticipating St. Pete Pride, which is the biggest.
We're going to be there.
Are you?
Yes,
Great.
June 28th.
So will I.
Okay.
And they're going to have a couple of movies coming up. One that sounds really good. There's going to be at both here at I think at Channelside and at what do you call it? Downtown
Baywalk.
Baywalk. God. It's called Laughing Matters, The Men, and it's a documentary by this woman who's done a series of documentaries about lesbian and gay stand-up comics. So she talks about their lives, but also, they get to tell their jokes. So it sounds like a lot of fun. That's, I think, Monday of this coming week and on Saturday.
I'd like also to pimp one thing before we go as a see and do. The erotic poetry reading at Studio 620 is Friday night.
One of our Ditch Flowers guys is going to be playing.
Is he?
Yeah, I think both of them are. They're going to be.
They
playing
were on our
at
show last week.
Yeah, and they're going to be playing at the erotic poetry night for some reason they haven't disclosed.
Very good.
Brian, thank you very much for calling in. We appreciate that. Sorry you couldn't be here. David, it was good to see you after so long.
Yes.
We missed you.
Mr. Warner, thank you.